So the other day, I came back after work. So I walked back into my living room and I saw my boy was playing with my pillow, this pillow of mine, in the living room. I got annoyed and I scolded him. I said, do not play with my pillow, do not play with mommy's pillow because you will get it dirty. I frequently have breakout on my face. So I do not like people to touch things on my pillow because I do not want them to get dirty. So I scolded him for that. It wasn't until about 3 weeks later after that incident, I was spraying my hair with the dry shampoo in the toilet and he was then standing next to me and he said, this is why your hair smells so good. This is why I love to take your pillow and smell your pillow whenever you are not around. Like, I was sprayed and I stopped in my track and I felt a tugging in my heart because I remember a similar scene when I was growing up. So when I was growing up, I remember that once my mom went away for a trip, I remember going into her closet and take out her clothes and smell it because the clothes smells like her and I missed her and I can't wait for her to come back home. So I just smell her clothes and I put it back. So I like to smell her clothes whenever that she's not around or when I was feeling sad, when I needed her by my side, or whenever I missed her, I would smell her clothes whenever she's not around. And so that is why my 5-year-old keep taking my pillow and smell it whenever I'm not around, because that incident that happened about 3 weeks ago, that was not the first incident. You see, there was like many of the many incidents, and I've been telling him off to not play with my pillow because I'm worried of the breakout on my face. And after that, just realized that he wasn't playing with them. He was simply missing me and he wanted to smell my smell on the pillow just like I did when I was young growing up. Hi guys! Welcome back to the channel. There is always two sides of a pillow. Like, just like there is always two sides of a coin, but pillow is more like domesticated, softer, fluffier, like me. As you can see, this is the side of the pillow that you always see. It's clean. Yeah, sometimes I do iron my pillowcase. And then there is the other side of the pillow, the saliva drool one. I'm not going to show you my real pillow lah. This is a good example of it. Two sides of the pillow, and this is the side that most often people don't get to see. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Too often than not, we are very much indulged in our own world. Our thoughts are the one that matter to us. And I mean, like, we were told to love ourselves first, to care for ourselves first, right? But that does not mean that we forgot that we are living with other people else, that their feelings and their opinions matters as well. We shouldn't brush off their feeling just because it does not concern us. And their troubles and their worries and their anxiety are valid too. Maybe you were just seeing that old auntie scolding with a very over-exaggerated reaction to a driver who is just on his phone while driving. To you, it may appear overly dramatic. Little did you know that on the other side of the story is that she may have lost her only daughter maybe a couple years ago because of reckless drivers. There are always two sides of the story. What we see may not be the whole truth. Empathy is the ability to put yourself really into their shoe or high heels and really see things from their perspective. I realized as time goes by, as I learn to become a mom, that I really need to empathize my children as well. It is not right for me to straight away, like, they have to shut their minds off and just listen to me. That does not mean that they do not have their own tiny little brains, their own little minds, their own little opinions about things. I have become a mom for like 7-8 years now, and I realized that one of the main reasons that children are acting out or throwing things, are angry or throwing tantrums, is because that is a cry for attention. They are looking out for attention, or they feel neglected. So ask them really, why are they pushing their siblings? Why are they not sharing? Why they do not like to be with their siblings? Listen properly and listen to what they have to say. I'm still learning by the way, but try to remove your authoritative manner and try to understand more. Validate their feelings as well, because this will help them actually to become a more empathizing adult, and this will create a very strong and valid relationship. On the other hand, as a wife, you also need to validate your husband's feeling, or acknowledge his pain, show interest, show up. Do not be drowned by your own judgmental mind and straight away be like very critical of him, because from what I learned throughout the years is that they may not see the mess as we see it. Because when I walk back in and see like a bunch of toys on the floor in the living room, that is a mess to me. I automatically need to clean it up, and my mind is very disorganized when I see mess. But for my husband, he does not see it that way. He will surely understand that they are playing, let them play first, and therefore he do not immediately feel the need to clean up. From what I'm seeing, I'll be like, why are you not cleaning up everything? Wait for me. And that is really not the truth, and I'm guilty of this many times, and I'm still learning to control my own temper. But that is something that I would like to point it out to you as well. Even though sometimes, like when they appear distant, like they are not in the zone, or when they're eating and they're like quiet and you feel like annoyed, what is he thinking? But maybe he is just like really, like they are maybe just thinking about their business related work, or they are just thinking about money matters. They have things in their mind, and not because they don't appreciate what you cook or what you cook is not nice. Of course, being a husband, you have to empathize your wife who has been like doing the work whole day, taking care of the house, taking care of the children, cooking for you. Just show some appreciation, like just tell her, oh, this one very nice, thank you so much for cooking. Empathy can go a long way in your marriage. Marriage is a long work, it's a lifelong training. Try to improve in your relationship if you find that you have been growing distant or wary of your husband or your partner. Whether in your domestic life or in your work life, there is always two sides of a pillow. For example, you may deem that your colleague is lazy. To you, this guy or this girl very lazy, very never do work properly, never check properly, always last minute. So but what can be the other side of the pillow? What can be the excuse for laziness and incompetence, right? So for all you know, when she first joined the company or joined the department, she is a very driven worker. She may even have an excellent referee on her CV. She may be very creative, and she may be very proactive, very progressive. But what happens when she comes to work with you? Boss, superior. Like whenever first few times when she hands in her assignment, you will be so analytic and so critical of her. It's good to be critical, but if you criticize her work and do not give her guidance, proper guidance, or telling her how you would like your work to be done, you never told her what you expect from her, how she should improve on her work in order to suit what you want. As slowly as time goes by, people will shut down. With so many negativity that you are causing her, she will shut down because she was never enough for you. Or maybe in the early days during meetings, she did voice out her opinions and her points of view, but most of the time you just brush it aside and just like say that is not important, what you're talking about. So little did you know that you were actually not a very supportive leader. And then you wonder how on earth did this worker that everybody is like saying they're complimenting her that she's such a great worker, but when come to work with you and she's not what she would deem to be. So you are actually the reason of her incompetence, and that is the other side of the saliva drooling pillow. Maybe as a junior doctor or a medical officer, you find that your specialist is very demanding. This ECG has changes. Postpone the cataract op for now. So that is your specialist order. Not only you need to cancel the patient surgery, you need to call them and explain to them. You need to refer to the cardiologist, and then you have another task of finding another new cataract surgery to replace the patient that you have just postponed. On top of that, then you have to make sure that the new patient knows his time, new date, new surgery, and you need to call the vendor to confirm his intraocular lens package. You need to change the whole OT list again. So that is the trouble that you have to go to just because of the ECG change. Yes, it may not be a new ECG changes. Yes, the patient may be stable. Yes, the patient may be asymptomatic for now. And yes, the patient may be annoyed with you for postponing his surgery. And yes, I know, cataract surgery is a low risk for cardiac event in a local anesthetic surgery. But what can be the other side of the pillow? Maybe, just maybe in the past that the same specialist a few years ago had experienced the same problem. It was a stable, asymptomatic outpatient with ECG changes who had been cleared for local anesthesia cataract surgery, who then underwent an elective non-urgent cataract surgery on a normal day but had developed an acute myocardial infarction on the table during a local anesthesia surgery. He was immediately intubated by the anesthesia team that was nearby. So imagine the panic of everybody in the OT at that time, where we have to call someone to come in and intubate the patient because the patient suddenly is being unstable on table halfway throughout the surgery. And so there was all the drama that specialist had to go through. All sorts of mortality review, departmental level, hospital level, whatever level there is, there are things that needs to be answered, right? And you need to explain to the family members what had happened. So the stress and the anxiety of a cataract surgery may also exacerbate a heart attack, even in a stable, asymptomatic patient. And therefore, since then, the specialists were very concerned, very obsessively concerned, looking at all the pre-operative ECG before allowing the patient to go for a local anesthesia cataract surgery. And that is why, and that is the other side of the pillow. Sometimes things happen. It is always better to be safe. So it depends on when you walk into a certain person's chapter of life. Say if you walk into that specialist that was having her drama, and then you will be empathizing on her, just I feel so sorry. This will determine what she will do consequently. So what she do consequently, and you walk into this person's chapter of life now, not knowing what happened then, it is easy sometimes for us to just throw comments and remarks and throw judgment. This one this one like that also want to refer me. We do things like that. But sometimes it's good to just maybe something have happened just because you do not agree with their decision of their way of living. Don't be quick to judge. Be always empathizing and try to understand why someone is doing. Give them the benefit of the doubt. So before I become a mom, like a pre-mom me, everything has their own place. But after I become a mom, most of the time, things get traveled out of their places so often. Specifically, there are tiny little wandering hands that is like taking things and putting out. They take out the Legos and they never put back, and that really annoys the pre-mom me. It's very frustrating for someone who likes neat and tidy like me. How you decide to react is absolutely totally your choice. There will always be toys on the floor. Whether you want to lose your temper, you want to complain, you want to punish them, you want to beat them, you want to argue with your husband for not helping you clean up, or you can decide to sit down and play with them and just play with them. The kids do not intentionally make a mess just to annoy you. They just want to play. So if there's one message from this video, I want you to remember that there is always the other side of the pillow. And if you are still here at the end of the video, I thank you so much for listening and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye.